Okay, so now that you've had a chance to view our videos about how to navigate, we'd like to introduce you to our framework. We're working on a framework that has three different parts. The first is that we would like a good curriculum, and that we think a good curriculum should specifically name people of color, Native communities, LGBTQ plus people, women, and non-neurotypical people. So what we mean by that is that it doesn't need to be mentioned in every single standard or every single lesson, because obviously that's going to be unrealistic to have every single one of those groups mentioned every time. But what we do want our curriculum to do is bend towards that arc of having all of those folks included in the curriculum and specifically mentioned in the curriculum, so that it ensures that educators must talk about those people when they're moving forward through the curriculum, so that our students keep them in mind, and things like that. The second thing that we think a good curriculum should recognize is recognizing the impact of content on the mind and body, so that every space can be a trauma-informed space. Anna and I, over the last year, have done a lot of work to make our spaces trauma-informed in our classroom, and our school is really trying to move in that direction. So what do we mean by trauma-informed spaces? We mean that everyone is feeling comfortable in that space, especially if they've had some sort of trauma earlier in their life, or if they're processing through a crisis right now. What we want to recognize is that a lot of times kids have physical and emotional reactions to what we're doing in the classroom. So instead of viewing these reactions as disruptive, and as students being defiant, kind of like we talk about in Toshalis, is that we want to see what's happening with our content and why are students reacting this way. We know that students' minds and bodies are connected. So when there's a tough thing to grapple with in the curriculum, something that's having an emotional impact on their mind, something that's maybe triggering to them, what might they be doing physically to let us know that that's something that's happening to them? And then how do we give them outlets or support or proper scaffolding so they can adjust within our classroom, or maybe take a break outside, or what do they need to do so we can be successful? We want to make sure that we're recognizing that what we do in the classroom isn't going to land the same way on everyone. So we really want to make sure that students have that outlet and that support. And then finally, we would like to see a curriculum that acknowledges and proposes skills or action steps to combat the systems of oppression that don't allow the first and second curriculum stipulations to exist. So when we talk about naming people of color and indigenous communities in the curriculum, what is our school doing to support those communities, to recognize those communities, to empower those communities? We want curriculum to give students action steps or tools so they can go out into their own lives and do that work as students, but recognizing that they are empowered individuals to make change and to start dismantling systematic oppression.